Welcome to Astrodology, the podcast that brings you knowledge, wisdom, and principles that can help you find the peace and comfort we all seek and deserve in our lives. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Astrodology with Astrid. We are at the conclusion of this topic of, recovering and healing yourself from the Los Angeles fires. And as I've said in the other part 1 and part 2, if you haven't listened to part 1, I suggest you start with part 1 and then go on to part 2, and then part 3 is a wrap. I'm talking about restoring your lung health after the Los Angeles fires. But this could be restoration after a major accident. It could be restoration after surgery, because everything that I've mentioned here doesn't necessarily have to do only with your lung health. But I was inspired to talk about this because my lung health was compromised. And as we go forward in Los Angeles, the effects of the debris and all of the negativity that's in the air, the negative ions and all of the toxins, that's the word I'm looking for, in the air, we don't know how that's going to affect us long term. But what I do know, in talking to people in the medical world, it is imperative that we start protocols now. And this is always the case when a major injury or accident, or you're fighting a disease or something. The quicker you go into action to kind of stop it in its tracks and help your body's own natural healing kick in, the better you will be. And I believe these 5 protocols and supplements I've been talking about, one of them is not a supplement, but I'm throwing it in the category of that, are things that will help you, your general health in any time of your life, especially in these stressful and uncertain times that people are facing. So again, let's get into this here today. This is part 3. And in part 3, we're talking about omegas and we're talking about flaxseed. So flaxseed is not a supplement, although you can take flax tablets and oil, but it's not a supplement. But I'm putting it in because what it does is, to me, it's a wrap on everything that I've already suggested we do. So I've talked about glutathione. I've talked about NAC, vitamin C. So again, omegas and flax. These are the 5 protocols that I think will greatly benefit and aid your body in healing. When we think of healing, we always want our body's own natural healing to click in. So in these days and times, we definitely need support. As I mentioned in part 1, back in the day, we were able to get so many of these nutrients and support from our food sources, but that has changed. Everything is searchable. You can look that up. So I won't spend any more time on that. Before we go forward, I would love it if you would just follow my podcast, turn on alerts, and share this information with others. The reason I do this is because I'm passionate about sharing information. This has been a cornerstone of my work for the last 25 years. And I'd appreciate it because I do believe in the power of self-healing. And the more we self-heal, the better planet we will all have. This whole series, part 1, 2, 3, is about you empowering yourself and realizing that our medical professionals are just guides and supports. They're guardrails, but they are not the be-all, end-all. We, with our own minds, our intentions, and doing our own research and testing and learning, we are the ones that heal ourselves. Okay, enough on that. So before I get into omegas and flaxseed, I wanted to mention, which I forgot to mention, that supplements are not the only remedies to help you with lung health. I was thinking, oh my goodness, going to a dry sauna. Saunas are amazing. Infrared light work is amazing. Even cryotherapy, because cryotherapy, you have that burst of extreme cold for like 2 or 3 minutes, but that boosts your immune system to kick in. Of course, spending time at the ocean and enjoying those negative ions from that salt water and the ocean air, breath work. One of the things that I did, even when I didn't have a voice, was continue to do my daily breathwork practices. I even boned up on my breathwork practice, even times when I felt like I couldn't breathe, because I knew that was massaging and internally lubricating, the bronchi and the lungs, so to speak. You can do steam over a bowl of water. This is like old school. Add eucalyptus, add rosemary or lavender to the water. Old school remedies. And then there are lung and respiratory tinctures and cocktails that are made with products. There's some products that I haven't even mentioned that I will do another segment on, because we want to do things that make it simple. So if you can just grab a remedy that has all the cocktails of things in it to help with lung health, that's great too. Again, these 5 protocols I called out not only help us make it through and heal the lungs, but it also heals the entire body. Okay, so let's start the conversation by talking about fats, because that's what omegas are. Fats are essential component in a healthy diet. Some people don't use any fat. They're afraid to use any kind of oil, any kind of butter. So whether you subscribe, you're a vegan, you're paleo, you're omnivore, fat is our friend, and it can be our friend. I think we've established that fats contribute not only to the flavor and texture of your food, but things like avocado is amazing fat. I can't believe when I first moved to California in college, I did not like avocados. And now avocados is probably one of my favorite foods. So your nuts, your seeds, and salmons are considered some of the healthiest foods on the planet. But even deeper on a molecular level, fats are super critical and essential for the functions of our body. I hearken back to Ayurvedic medicine. In Ayurvedic medicine, ghee, which is clarified butter, sesame oil are revered for things to put inside of your body, because oil internally helps to lubricate. Imagine we shower and we bathe and we put lubricants and lotions on our hands and our body and our faces, but our internal organs also need to be lubricated. So some of the type of fats can actually help reduce your cholesterol and risk of cardiovascular disease. I think a lot of people know that about omegas. Here's the question. So there's omega-3s and there's something about omegas 3, 6, 9. We will talk about the differences. While omega-3 refers only to a specific type of fatty acids, omega-3, 6, 9 is a combination of 3 types of fatty acids, omega-3, omega-6, and omega-9, and they each have a distinct chemical structure and health benefits. So essentially, in essence, omega-3 is a part of omega-3, 6, 9, but it's not the whole story. Most people on average just take omega-3s and that's enough. Again, you'd want to consult with your healthcare professional or do your own research about which omega is best for you. Again, if you're not taking anything at all, I would start with an omega-3 and go from there. So omega-3 is a type of polysaturated fatty acid considered essential for the body because our bodies do not produce omega-3 on its own. We do not produce omega-3. Omega-6 is another type of polysaturated fatty acid that's also considered essential. And then omega-9 is a monosaturated fatty acid which the body can produce, making that it can make itself, okay? So omega-3 fatty acids are healthy fats, as we said, that support your heart. And one key benefit of taking an omega-3 is it helps to lower your triglycerides. The types of omega-3s that are included are DHA and EPA found in seafood and ALA that are found in plants. And the main source of omegas is from marine or fish sources. If you are plant-based, you would get your omegas from flaxseed, chia seeds, and I will talk about a couple other things. So MUFAs are the monosaturated fatty acids, and PUFAs stand for polysaturated fatty acids. And both types are dietary fats that are both important for human health. So omega-3 fatty acids are polyunsaturated fats that perform important functions in our bodies. So your body can't produce these type of omegas, and we need these to actually survive. So omega-3 fatty acids are super essential, and especially if we've been talking about antioxidants, you need to get them from the foods that we eat. Fatty acids are two types, the saturated fat and the unsaturated fat. Unsaturated fat breaks down into polyunsaturated fat and monosaturated fat. These are terms you commonly see on nutrition labels. Fatty acids are chain-like molecules, and they're made of the different, I call it like the periodic table, carbon, oxygen, hydrogen atoms. And carbon atoms are the backbone of this chain and this strain of these molecular chemicals that make up a fatty acids. Saturated fats are sometimes known as bad in quotes or unhealthy fats because they increase your risk of certain diseases like heart disease and stroke. So omega-3s as a form of polyunsaturated fats are healthier alternatives to saturated fats in your diet. So what do omegas do? And we're going to talk about specifically for lung health. But in general, omega fatty acids help the cells in your body function as they should. When we have dis-ease, we're unhealthy, even having a common cold or the flu means your body is not functioning as it should. So omega fatty 3s are a vital part of cell membranes, which help provide structure and support and interaction between all of our cells. So that's why it's important that omega-3s are present in all of your cells. In addition, omega-3s can provide your body with energy, which in quotes are calories, and support the health of all of your body systems. But the main one that gets credit is your cardiovascular system and your endocrine system. So there are three main types of omega fatty acids. And you may see this. A lot of the fish oils now and the omega-3s, most of them now contain EPA and DHA. So EPA is a marine omega-3 because it's found in fish. DHA is also a marine omega, also found in fish. And ALA is alpha linolenic acid, is the form of omega-3 that is found in plants. So if you are plant-based, you would look for ALA. So again, omega-3s are essential nutrients that you need to get and have in your diet. When you get ALA from food, your body is able to turn some of the ALA into EPA, and subsequently this then turns into DHA. However, this process provides just a small amount of EPA. So again, you turn to your food sources to ensure that you bone up that LAA. Now, let's talk about how it helps the body function, how this is going to be prevalent in your lung health. So omega fatty acids may help maintain lung health and improve breathing. They may also help reduce the risk of bacterial lung infections and slow the progression of lung disease. Now, when I was going through my bronchial and lung issues, once I started taking my omegas, all of a sudden I felt kind of a relaxation. I just felt like, I was like, aha, that lubrication is softening and easing things, because when you have bronchitis, the very thing for bronchitis that you need to do is not cough. But because the bronchiole gets so inflamed, it wants to cough as a response to try to get rid of the bacteria that's trying to build. Also, researchers find that high levels of omega fatty acids in the blood plasma were associated with better ability to exchange carbon dioxide. So the role of omega-3s in lung health. So the lungs, that's what we're talking about today, are exposed to various potentially harmful agents all the time. Each breath that we take such pathogens, allergens, toxins, and irritants enter the lungs. So the host must respond to these invaders by mounting acute inflammation response to kind of fight. It's almost like the lungs go into fight or flight to try to resolve any harm done to it. However, this process does not always work perfectly, and the body may fail to resolve the inflammation. And this is what happens when we have lead in the air, asbestos, and all of these harmful chemicals that float around. So inflammation then can become acute, and this can become excessive. So that's why we need to take care of our lung health now. So if we don't take care of the ongoing inflammation, it could lead to common lung diseases such as acute respiratory distress syndrome, which is ARDS, asthma, chronic obstruction pulmonary disease, which is COPD. It can even contribute to cystic fibrosis. So establishing a protocol to ensure that your lungs are healthy is so important for everybody. Okay, most fish oil comes from marine sources such as fatty fish, fish liver oils, and marine crustaceans. However, some fish oils are made from genetically modified terrestrial plants that also produce EPA and DHA. Now, I remember growing up, our family was old school. We grew up having to take, when we went back to school in the fall, we had to take cod liver oil and castor oil. We would take cod liver oil every day. It was something I hated. But as I look back, I was like, boy, was my family very smart. So fatty fish, salmon, tuna, mackerel, sardines, anchovies, herring, capelin, and hoki fish are high. Fish liver oils and cod liver oil, marine crustaceans from krill. But if you have a shrimp allergy, shrimp in particular, maybe not just crustaceans, krill oil would not be an ideal component. Marine microorganisms from algae. So plant sources of fish oil, flax, comes from walnut, canola oil, mustard seed oil, and soybean oil. There is some controversy about the algae version of omegas just because the studies are ongoing. But in Alzheimer's brains, they found algae in the brain, so that's still being debated. But other sources of omega-3s, which I think everyone knows by now, is eggs. Eggs are fortified with omega-3, red meat. So again, omega fatty acids are the type of polyunsaturated fats. They may protect us against cardiovascular disease. They're also linked to heart health, brain health, and like I said, reduced inflammation. So where can you find them? Where are the best places? Since I've been talking about nutritional sources, oily fish like salmon, sardines, herring, and mackerel. Again, growing up, we ate sardines on a regular basis. I remember actually enjoying sardines and crackers with a little bit of mustard. Now that may be just a Midwest thing or a Canadian thing because Michigan is so close to Canada where I live. Cod liver oil, flax seeds, whitefish, shellfish like mussels, oysters, squid, and crab are high in omegas. Soybeans there's a lot of controversy about soybeans, but soybeans are high in omegas. Tofu, high in omegas. Pumpkin seeds, vegetable oils, and chia seeds. And chia pudding is so easy to make. It's so nutritious, so easy to make, and it's full of protein. So flax seeds, let's talk about flax seeds because that was part of the protocol today. So flax seeds, I have to say that my naturopath has harped on me for years and years to consistently and daily take flax seeds. I have been a bad student with this, but I do know when I integrate flax in the way that I'm supposed to, I'm thriving. So flax seeds are a nutritious and versatile seed that offers numerous health benefits. Some of the key benefits of consuming flax seeds, because they are rich in omega-3 fatty acids. This is why I chose to speak about omegas and flax seeds together. They're an excellent source of alpha linolenic acid, ALA, just like in omegas. and it's an essential omega. ALA is an essential omega fatty acid. Omegas-3 have anti-inflammatory properties and help reduce of heart, stroke, and even certain types of cancer. The case for flax seeds is that they have a high fiber content, but they're high in both soluble and insoluble fiber, which promotes digestive health. So my naturopath has preferred me to do ground flax versus taking a flax tablet or flaxseed oil, because you're going to get both types of the fiber, the soluble and insoluble fiber. You're going to get the ground, you're going to get the oil out of the ground, and the ground is going to attach the unhealthy fats and things and take it out of the system. Fiber also helps to regulate blood sugar. It keeps you feeling full and reduces the risk of constipation. So flax seeds contain something called lignans, plant compounds with antioxidant and hormone balancing properties. They help in the prevention of breast cancer, prostate cancer, and have been shown to help with menopausal symptoms. So again, this is why I say these protocols I'm calling out are not just for your lung health, they're for your overall health and well-being. They help reduce cholesterol levels, reduce inflammation, and regulate blood pressure. So flax seeds improve blood sugar in people with type 2 diabetes. So the research goes on and on and on. So a high fiber content of flax seeds helps promote healthy gut and healthy gut microbiome. When you have healthy gut microbiome, which healthy gut and microbiome are buzzwords and important words as we go forward nutritionally, they can improve digestion, reduce bloating, and the risk of gastrointestinal disorders. Other sources or other things that flax is so important for, it's an important source of protein, vitamin B6, and other minerals like manganese and selenium. These are essential minerals that we need. So they help also, flax seeds help boost brain function, improving your mood, and reducing the risk of certain autoimmune diseases. So I'm like, where does flax come from and when did flax start? So 8000 BC is the earliest evidence of wild flax seeds found, and so flax therefore is an ancient grain. You know, ancient grains are coming back into vogue too. They never should have left, but based on that, flaxseed is an ancient grain. In 1995, flax became known as a functional food. Flax seeds are obtained from a flax plant, and this plant is native to the Middle East and is currently cultivated in regions worldwide, including Canada, China, India, and France. Canada, however, produces 40% of the world's flaxseed. China, the US, and India together grow another 40%. In the US, North Dakota produces most of our country's flaxseed. Flax is either grown for food or fiber, but in our North American world, they're typically grown for just the seed. Flax is usually harvested in August after the plants have turned brown and appear that they are dead. Because flax is so easily stored, you can store it for several months. We're able to enjoy it year-round. And while I'm thinking about it, I've always been taught to store my flaxseed either in the freezer in a container or in the refrigerator. That is because of its high oil content. Those oils can go rancid if you just keep it in the cupboard. Now let's dive deeper into lung health. Flax seeds may help with lung health by reducing inflammation, oxidative stress, and lung injury. Where have we heard about oxidative stress? In our first part 1 with glutathione and with vitamin C, NAC. We've heard that it can reduce inflammation, oxidative stress, lung injury, pulmonary fibrosis, and may help with radiation-induced lung injury. It may help with lung cancer. Other benefits of flaxseed may help with breast pain, may help with hot flashes, and help benefit people that have asthma or Parkinson's disease. So again, ask your doctor, healthcare provider about flaxseed, and I assure you they will probably have nothing but positive things to say about it. Now, admittedly, ground flax is tough to consume for me because of the ways that you have to consume it. On another note, you want the flaxseed to be ground. Do not use whole flaxseed because there's a shell on the seed that will not break down properly in the body. You want flaxseed to be ground. You can buy whole flax seeds and use like your coffee grinder to grind it down. But most of the uses are on yogurt, cottage cheese, on top of your oats. I like to put it on top of my chia pudding to actually really bone up and then take that chia pudding to a higher level. You can sprinkle it on top of salads. If you have a tuna salad or chicken salad, you can put it on sandwiches. And the number one, probably the best, most delicious way to enjoy flaxseed is through smoothies. So that's a wrap on flaxseed and omegas. I hope this information has been instrumental in your understanding and that you're excited and looking forward to going out and discovering how these potent products can help you and your body. I'll be doing another segment on discussing and talking about the exact products, the exact brand names or products that I'm using, as well as I'll go into the tinctures and cocktails that are readily available. There are lung remedies on the shelf that are readily available, and I will talk about some of the ones that in addition to these 5 protocols, that I also used. I know I've thrown a lot at you today and over this series, but you can review the information, play it back. But again, thank you so much for tuning in, because I believe that the more we heal ourselves and we take our own custody of our own health into our own hands, the better planet we will have. We need healthy, vibrant, conscious, aware people on this planet. Just like my acronym, COTA Life. Conscious opportunities through awareness. When you're eating well, you're sleeping, and you have full custody over your own life, and you're making decisions towards your own path and journey that leads you to vibrancy, that's when joy and happiness are a constant in your life. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Astridology with Astrid. Again, life is amazing. We're living in this amazing time where science is meeting nature, and they're having a party, and it's beautiful. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll catch you in the next episode. Namaste. Thank you for listening to Astridology. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to help support the podcast, please hit the subscribe button and tell your friends about it by sharing this program on social media. You can also follow me on Instagram at COTA Life Goddess or at COTALife.com. COTA is COTA, COTA Life Goddess or COTALife.com. Thank you again for listening to Astridology, and I'll see you next time.